number of university students 4 years ago in Cape Town, who identified the need for an organization to represent the interests of young people, particularly those of color, in the property sector. Today, we achieve this through our pillars of education, employment, and entrepreneurship. The I Am the Future initiative falls under our education pillar alongside our job shadow program. And this pillar is focused on using education as a tool to improve young people's awareness about property as a degree at university. The pillar is also focused on increasing young people's participation, advancing their awareness of property as a career path to follow post-university, as well as teaching people the power of property to generate wealth over time. I'm always excited when I get an opportunity to speak to high school students who are considering what they should do post-matric. Grade 10 to 12 is such a critical period where you have to research and explore as much as you can about different degrees and career paths. Information is probably the most powerful thing you can have at this level, because when you have good information, then you can make even better decisions. Our goal with this initiative is to increase your awareness of what is possible for you. So make sure you take notes, that you listen carefully, and that you actively engage with the different people who are here. Use your notes later and inquire from friends, parents, and the internet. At this stage of your life, Google should definitely become your friend, because the awareness of our parents is at times limited. Trust me when I say, don't only listen to your parents about what to do in the future. At university, I studied a Bachelor of Science in Engineering and Property Studies at UCT. A lot of people think that a Bachelor of Science has only to do with medicine. The funny thing is that when I told my grandfather, who is a medical doctor, he quickly asked me why I needed science and engineering to simply sell houses. Little did he know that the degree meant I could go on and develop shopping centers or a building like this one that couldn't have come at a more critical time for us as a country. Just 4 weeks ago, Statistics South Africa informed us that our unemployment rate increased under the to a record of 43.2% in the first quarter of 2021. That means, underscoring the gravity of this situation, the youth unemployment rate based on this expanded definition now stands at 74.7%. That's 7 out of 10 people unemployed. This is something that must be discussed by all of us today, because it's the biggest threat and barrier to our progression as a country and as young people. Now, one of the best ways to grow an economy and to get people employed is through property development and infrastructure, because it has a long value chain and it requires many different roles, from architects and quantity surveyors to property lawyers and town planners. The prospects for employment in our sector are immense. It is my hope that this initiative will eventually increase the number of young people participating in that value chain and ultimately improve the employment statistics of young people in South Africa. Each one of us has the power to make a difference in our country by individually making better decisions that will collectively result in a positive future for us all. Let's start changing our future. Thank you.
Can you guys hear? I had property and my head was going, hey, did you guys hear? Because I'm going to talk as a speaker that in school, students have realized that it's not only by education that you make it. So if you listen carefully here, talking about property, and I'm surprised that you don't have no kind of something, but in fact, I would assume that your memory is not like mine. So safe. Yes. And then up next, we have speakers from Imperial Wanderers Management. I understand there's 3 people from this company. We have the CEO. Can you just make a CEO? Yes, CEO. But the CEO, Jono Leadright is here. I don't see. Thank you. We have the head coach, one leader, he's here. Thank you. Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. And then we've got the stadium manager, Cyril Martin. Okay, I'm assuming I'm somewhere. Yes, as you come to the fourth, ladies and gentlemen, can you please put your hands together? Yes, or yeah, clap your hands. Put your hands and clap your hands. Yes, can you please clap your hands? Yes, yes. When you can also come. Yes, you plus minus 15 minutes. Yes.
Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to the Imperial Wanderers. Are you excited? You are the future. Well, I'm excited that South Africa is in good hands. I'm going to ask my stadium manager, Mr. Cyril Martins, to speak first, just on the history of the stadium, where you're sitting on the wonderful ground you're sitting at, followed by the head coach, and then I'll close off. Mr. Martin?
Sorry, good morning, everybody. My great moment, that's how I got some applause. Back in the day when I was a teacher, the students never used to applaud when I used to speak, so I asked for applause. I think this is not a typical Monday morning history lesson, as the MC said, that we should be having notebooks and writing down whatever I'm going to say. But there's going to be a test at the end of all of this. So the important thing for me is to give you a history of the Imperial Wanderers Stadium. And what is important is that as you go out in life, and as you find yourself working and applying for jobs, the first thing you must do is make sure that you understand what the company that you're going to work at is all about. It's always the first question I ask people when they come for interviews. What do you know about the Wanderers? If you're interested in the job, then surely you should be interested in the place. And that is the basis on which wherever I work in stadiums, I get to know the history of the place. So there's always an old generation and there's a new generation. And clearly, because I have a few more gray hairs than most of you, I'm of the old generation. Why do I say that? Because there's an old Wanderers and there's a new Wanderers. And today you're sitting on what we commonly refer to as the new Wanderers. So where was the old Wanderers? The old Wanderers was, I don't think any of you know where Russian Street is. Do any of you know where Russian Street is in Germany? Nobody knows. Only the financial manager knows. I'm sure all of you know. You all know where Park Station is in Johannesburg, obviously, right? Now, the old Wanderers used to be right next to Park Station. right next to it. And with the expansion of Johannesburg as a city, as a metropolis, the station had to expand. And the only space that was available was the cricket ground next door. And of course, it became a bit of a risk because sometimes the cricket balls used to fly from the old Wanderer Stadium into the trains that were passing. But that wasn't the reason why they moved. It was just based on expense. So the old Wanderer Stadium was there from 1988, I don't know where I was, to 1946. And so there were quite a number of test matches played there. In my research, Johnson Martha, I discovered that the first cricket match in Transvaal, that's what it is, was there, was played on the turf wickets, was started in 1935. Now that's quite interesting for me as a cricketer, ex-cricketer, because the first time I ever played provincial cricket on a turf wicket was in 1975, 40 years later. That is not a debate which I'm engaged in right now. So coming back to where we are, and then from 1946 to 1956, you will not believe it, that Alice Park Rugby Stadium was also the cricket stadium. And there they played 3 test matches. The first test match was England, followed by Australia, followed by New Zealand test match. Then there was a need for a break between Alice Park and the cricket. And the cricket was the Johannesburg, city of Johannesburg, then awarded this particular ground, which is referred to as Kent Park. This should be a piece of land. Now look, see that state referred to as Kent Park. Kent, at the time, was the president of the Wanderers Club, the golf course next door. They were kind of a Rotary club that collected money for people in need. But in 1956, you will also notice that the original part of the stadium is behind me, which is referred to as the open east stand, the wooden benches. Right behind me, that was the original stand. It's the only thing that's left. But in 1956, and I tell you, it's the most popular part of the stadium. The students come here, we can have fun, we can jump, we can shout, nobody tells you to keep quiet. Then, what we also, if we go to the big stand on your right-hand side, the very, very big one there, that is referred to as the Unity stand. Now remember that in 1991, Africa was reintroduced into international cricket. That's why in 1992, we played the World Cup in Australia. So that's the Cricket Association and the Transvaal Cricket Board. So that's the unit set. If you look at the right-hand side here, you'll see the repeater is between the blue signs on the right-hand side here. You can't see it now, but it's gray, blue seats. That is where we have our log room and all the important people will sit there. Behind you, where you see Sunfoil now we're cooking, that is of the stadium.
Then the interesting stand is, if you look behind you, you see the two, what we refer to, you see where Sportsman's Warehouse is. Right to the left of Sportsman's Warehouse is a tunnel. We refer to that as the Merv Hughes Tunnel. You remember the Australian cricketer Merv Hughes with a moustache and all those? There was an incident there one day where Merv Hughes got involved with the spectators and they abused each other, and that is where that stand comes from. That tunnel comes from. So it's a very famous tunnel. When you go up there, I think you may walk down there, you'll see cricketers' action pictures inside there. Then if you go to on the right-hand side, my right-hand side, Imperial behind you, that's a very important stand there. That is referred to as the memorial stand. Now, memorial means in memory of somebody. And that stand was built or named after all the cricketers that played for South Africa that died in World War I and World War II. This, on the right-hand side here, my right-hand side, is a centenary stand. Centenary means a century. As cricketers, we know a century is centurion, not so. So that's a century, and this is indicated the 100 years of Transvaal cricket, and that is why it was named after that. Okay. What are the exciting things? That's just the stand that you see there. What are the exciting things that have happened at this world-famous cricket ground, which is arguably one of the top 5 stadiums in the world? I find that as an extreme privilege to be involved in a stadium of the stature. Does anybody know what the nickname is of the stadium? It's called the Imperial Wanderers Stadium, but what do we call it normally? Everybody has a nickname? Yes, sir. The bully. Now, obviously, when you have a bully, there's fighting and there's battle and there's bulls and there's matadors, obviously, and that's why this is referred to as the bully. You feel like you're watching bulls fighting. Cricketers, they're not fighting, but they're battling. So, very quickly to end up, what are the other exciting things that have happened in the stadium? This stadium is the premier cricket ground in the country. It has hosted all the finals that have happened in South Africa, whether it's the 2003 Cricket World Cup, the IPL of 2009, the T20 inaugural of 2007, and any final that takes place in this country happens in the stadium. Reason is the largest stadium in the country. At the moment, our capacity is 28,000. Whittled down to about 25,000. So that is why this is the biggest stadium in the country and all the finals happen. And then just in closing, it's the stadium where Portugal played Mozambique as a warm-up game in the 2010 World Cup. So we had soccer here. It's also a ground where they used to play hockey. And then also, at some stage, we played 2 rugby tests here. So the Springboks also played here at some stage in the earlier years, where they were busy rebuilding Ellis Park. And then it is the stadium where the longest 6 was ever hit in world cricket. Those of us who were around in 2013, we saw it. At Unity End, Johnson, Unity End, Shahid Afridi. Shahid Afridi, the Pakistan batsman, hit the ball. You see where that gentleman is up top there, busy cleaning the solar heating, right up top there. The ball went sailing over there. And it was recorded that the ball traveled 158 meters. Now, those of us who play cricket, we know that is a huge hit. And still today, people talk about the longest 6. It was also the ground in which I almost missed the fastest 100 in ODI. I normally sit up top there in the VOC, Venue Operations Center. And if I didn't sit there for a half an hour, 40 minutes, I would have missed the innings of A.B. de Villiers. because AB de Villiers scored the fastest 100 in ODI cricket on this particular ground. He scored 100 off. 100 off? How many balls? 35 balls? 100 or 35 balls. And I always remember that as one of the highlights in my management career. It was the fastest 100 that I saw in world cricket. And then last thing is that it is also the venue where we had the 16th annual the annual Nelson Mandela lecture delivered by Barack Obama. So Barack Obama was also here delivering his speech. That was about 2018, I think it was 2018, something like that. So that is just a quick rundown of the venue. It's you're sitting on holy ground. Enjoy it and dream while you, as young people, saying there, I am the future, right? I am the future. Dream that one day I'm going to be playing this ground. And you have enough role models to follow. They are in the West Indies, they are in your homes, they are in your clubs, so follow them. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mr. Martin. Some are even sitting here. We've got the Imperial Lions players here, joined us today, as well as many of the coaches that will walk around with you. So please, boys and girls, throughout the day, make sure you connect with your heroes, make sure you connect with your mentors, ask any questions that you might have to ensure that you leave here empowered to make sure that you grab hold of the future and make it the best you can. Next up is the head coach of the Imperial Wanderers, Imperial Lions team, should I say. It's our professional team. He, I think, is the youngest coach in the country. He's got 3 trophies already in the cabinet as the coach of the Imperial Lions. Many of his players are sitting there in the back row for you to engage with. His assistant coach, Jimmy Kamade, is also sitting here. It gives me great pleasure to introduce head coach of the Imperial Lions, Wandile Gwabu.
All right, good morning to everyone. And Jonah, I'll pay you later for the introduction. Thank you very much. Guys, I'm going to make everybody a bit uncomfortable because I think that's what I get paid for, and grow people each and every day here. I see that there's a lot of good coaches that are standing in the background there. And for the next 30 seconds, we're going to do a bit of an exercise, just move everybody from where they're seating. I want you to sit in a different seat because I know that you're probably comfortable where you're seating. But I want those coaches who are seating up there, also the coaching Lions coaching staff and players, just to sit next to the students and the teachers amongst them. And then I want all of us to mix and mingle for the next 30 seconds, please. And I would love for everybody to sit down. Thank you. 30 seconds starts now. I'm the general. Please, John. Next to some of the students here, I know you're very rebellious. Take your time. You come sit at the front here. All right, the first advice I've got from the back of my pocket: don't become a coach. I think if you care about your hairline, you can look at me now, and your age and your health. It's not the best thing you want to do. It pays very well thanks to my CEO and the board. I'll say that really. But jokingly, I'm where I am today because of a lot of opportunities. And what I've done to you guys is create a bit of opportunity and a bit of chaos. But what I want to say to everybody is, through every chaos that we go, human beings, and it starts from a very young age, comes about an opportunity. There's a lot of esteemed people that we're sitting with here this morning, through everything we've went through as the world in the past 18 months, through everything that we've been through with our families and our loved ones. I'm sure for a fact that there's a lot of people who've lost loved ones here. There's a great opportunity through everything that has happened. Sitting next to you now might be the next president in South Africa, might be the next Lions coach, might be the next CEO. We don't know. And all that power sits within you. You asked me 10 years ago, would I be the head coach of the biggest franchise in the country, one of the best stadiums in the country? My answer would have been no, because I knew no better. You guys are sitting with a great opportunity to change the world. Somebody once said that to me. And to change the world to me doesn't necessarily mean that you must come up with a vaccine. To change the world doesn't mean that you must become the president. To change the world to me means be a better person for the person next to you now that you're sitting with. That's all I'm going to ask for. That as a human being, especially as a young person, I count myself also very lucky and still very young. There's a lot of opportunities that have been presented to me so far in my life. I've missed quite a lot. And I'm not scared to say that I didn't like school. I used to sit exactly like this gentleman over here. You, my best friend, will know. At the back of the class. I used to be the lazy one. But life taught me a lot. Every opportunity that you get in life, appreciate, make use of it, because you never know when the next opportunity is going to come back again. Everybody in life is going to get a chance. No matter your background, I'm sure you've heard of that before. You went to look at my background, I should not be standing where I'm standing today. But through opportunities that I've managed to get through the past years, I made just one good opportunity work. And that's what I'd love to leave with you guys today. Each and everyone sitting here, next person next to you might be a boss. You're gonna get that opportunity. Make sure you use it wisely, because you never know when the next time is gonna come. Thanks a lot for everybody who came through. We still count ourselves very lucky. I didn't know the history that Mr. Kellogg's Martins. I heard that you've got a new name, Mr. Cereal. I never thought I'd be here, being the head coach of this team. We are lucky to be at the Wanderers. This is one of the best cricket stadiums in the world. Do count yourself lucky. And lastly, I know that you're wearing your masks and it's still very early in the morning. Please give us a bit of energy. Give us a bit of energy. You've been locked up in your houses, so you could have easily been at school. You're at the Wanderers. And that's how the Lions play. We play with a lot of pride and a lot of energy. And that's all I'm going to ask for after the CEO has spoken today. And remember, opportunity. That's all you always look for. And sometimes all you need to do is just move from one shape to the next shape. That's where the opportunity might be. So thank you very much, and for the rest of the day, hoping to see you and mingle with everybody later on. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Sorry, guys, I've been asked to stay behind here because apparently they're live streaming this and need all the speakers, please, to stay behind the podium moving forward. But thank you, Coach Wandile. Thank you for those very good words. And boys and girls, officially from here, very good morning to each and every single one of you here at the beautiful Imperial Wanderers Stadium. So our guest of honor, MMC Ahmed, thank you very much, sir, for your vision. Thank you for what you're doing for our city. Thank you for what you're doing for our youth. And thank you for your vision. I was blessed enough to sit with you on Tuesday in our trophy long room, and the energy that you gave, the vision that you've got, I'm certainly proud to be a citizen of Josie. I'm certainly proud to be a member of this wonderful organization, and under your leadership, I'm very, very excited that the future of not only the youth of our great South Africa, but the future of our great city is in very good hands. So thank you, MMC, for your vision, for your energy, and for your care for all of us here. Boys and girls, it's been said this morning that every single one of us needs to dream big. and Coach Wandile Guavu mentioned it. Cyril mentioned the growth of the stadium, the MC, UPRA, and many of us this morning spoke about life being a journey from one point to the next. The beautiful part about journeys is that you get to write the journey and you get to drive the car as you want to drive it. But through that journey, there's many choices. There'll be choices that you make that sometimes are good, sometimes not so good. But how you react to those choices and how you grab those opportunities are really in your hands. I often say that your smile is your logo. Your personality is your business card. And how you leave others feeling after an experience with you becomes your trademark. If you want to be successful in life, it's not about how much money you've got or how big your car is or how big your house is. I've seen people succeed and fail with having the very least or having the most. But what's driven them from point A to B along their journey and what's allowed them to dream big and deliver on their dreams is about a relationship that they've built. Not only with the people in their little circle, but with the people around them. I often speak about the word pride and the P of pride standing for passion. Each and every single one of us in life need to have a passion. The MMC has got a passion to build the city. He's got a passion to build the youth. We're sitting here not because of me or because of you, but because of a vision of one man. That's how legacy begins. It begins with a choice to make a difference. It begins with a passion to move from point A to point B and make a meaningful impact in someone's life. The R of pride stands for respect, because in life you can't move in good circles or be associated with good people if you don't respect those around you. You know, one of the biggest things that drives me mad about our city is the litter. A simple thing about throwing a piece of litter in a dustbin is a choice. But it's easier for us to just throw it on the floor and think someone else is going to pick it up. I was a school teacher for 17 years. I made sure that out of every single break I went, and I made sure that the students and myself picked up the litter. I didn't wait for someone else to do it, because it's not someone else's problem. It's our problem. It's your litter. And a simple choice like that for our city would make a meaningful impact to the MMC, because not only would we be a world-class African city, but we would be a world-class clean African city. We need to respect people in our classrooms, respect our principals, respect our teachers, respect our police, respect good people in our life that are trying to help us, saying please and thank you, simple manners. The I stands for image of the word pride. And image does not mean having the most expensive shoes or best tracksuit or looking swag with the most bling. It's just about being presentable. I often speak to my cricket players about cleaning their kit, making sure their pads are clean, their shoes are white. A simple thing like image goes a long way, because visually when you engage with someone, I don't care whether they've got a shirt from this shop or that shop, but how are they dressed? Is their shirt on? Is their shirt tucked in? Are they looking at me? Are their shoes clean or dirty? Are your school shoes clean or dirty? Image is a critical piece. The D of pride is for discipline, being on time. When you say you're going to meet at 8 o'clock and all of you are going to journey through work, but the MMC knows when he calls the meeting at 8 o'clock and someone arrives at 8:30, he's not happy. I'm not happy. You got to stick to your word. Be disciplined. Deliver on what you promise. And the E, ladies and gents, of pride is for enjoyment. Because in life, we've got to have some fun. We've got to laugh and engage and enjoy moments and enjoy experiences so that we can grab onto them with both hands and keep walking our journey, keep living our dream. So I want you to remember that word pride today, please. P for passion, R for respect, I for image, D for discipline, and E for enjoyment. And as you journey through your careers, as you journey through the future, because you are the future, the MMC has given you the platform. This is your stage. How you want to write that book is up to you. How you want to journey through your life is up to you. How big you want to dream is up to you. In closing, champions don't become champions when they win the event, but in the hours, the weeks, the months, and the years they spend preparing for it. The victorious performance itself is merely a demonstration of their championship character. All of you have a great opportunity to be game changers in your communities, to take the learnings and the energy and the platform that the MMC has given you today and go back into your communities and make meaningful difference. To pick up the litter when you see it, to respect your teacher more, to stand up for what is right. In 1976, that youth that fought for equality gave us a chance in South Africa. I'm a proud South African. I live in this beautiful country because I want to, because I want to make a difference to tomorrow so that my young daughter and my young son have a better South Africa. All of you have that opportunity. All of you have that power in your hands to make a difference tomorrow. And as Coach Wandile said, we don't know who the next president is going to be, or who the next MMC is going to be, or who the next CEO, or who the next coach, or who the next doctor or lawyer, or best dad is going to be, or best mom. We've run a campaign for the last few months around ending femicide now. We know it's the second biggest pandemic in this country behind COVID. Which men here are going to stand up for women and children? Which men here are going to stand up against the abuse that our women and children have to go through? It can't be up to the MMC or me to do it every day of our lives, or this gentleman sitting in front of me. It's up to you, the future of this country. So let's make sure that when we leave here today, we leave with a message to make South Africa a better place. Because you are the future. Take this opportunity that the MMC has given you and grab it with both hands. And make sure that in whatever way you want to make a difference, you do it. Don't make excuses. And make sure that together, tomorrow when we sing in CoJ Sigaleli, Africa, holding hands, that we're singing it because we're proud of the South Africa that we built, that we're proud of the South Africa that we made a difference to, that we're proud of the South Africa to call our home. Because I'm proud. And I'm extremely blessed and privileged, MMC, that you've given us an opportunity as Lions Cricket to partner with you and your other partners. Thank you for the trust, sir. This is your stadium, as I said to you the other day. We're just the custodians of it. And may with all the heroes that are here today, with the head coach, with yourselves and others, that we make sure that together we make a better South Africa tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Leaf Wright. I need to, before I call up the next speaker, I need to address a few things, but I'm going to start here. Mr. Leaf Wright said something that caught my attention. He said the relationships that you build. And when I take a quick view, I see students. So we must make it clear that relationships, it's not boyfriend and girlfriend. No. It's relationships that will propel you to become the future. I am the future. Can you just say, I am the future on 3? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no, that future is ish. Guys, come on. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. And then the other thing is, I understand we've got a company here, CoJ, right? They put up this one is interesting to students because they don't buy their own data. Yes, I know it's the parents. So CoJ has put up free Wi-Fi. So if you have your phone here, you are at liberty to connect on condition that you don't forget to, what do you say, hashtag, yes, hashtag I am the future, and post, and comment, and like. I think that's the language in the young people, my channel and all of those. So yeah, and then the other thing that I want to bring to your attention, especially the students, is you must be listening attentively, because there will be a question and answer session as we go down. So I don't want you to be that boy or that girl, you know, in the physics class, when they say any questions, you never ask anything. Not because you don't have a question, but because you didn't hear from the beginning. Are you getting my point? So please listen attentively. And then the speakers that come and speak upstage, please don't leave the podium. Podium. Yes, don't leave the podium, because we are live streaming, and hey, which is the thing in this day and age. Yeah, we are live streaming, and there's a mic here that needs to hear you, because you are not only being watched by the people present. And then, yeah, the last one is on tea breaks and lunch breaks, and on my far right there's a UJ gazebo there. If you have any questions, career orientated, you best pass by there. Oh no, not pass by, go and ask, because there's a difference between passing and going there, I think. Yes, just go there. And then up next, I don't have a DJ today, ne? Yeah, yeah, no, but it's fine. We'll be able to. I wanted to ask the students, but now the parents are here and the teachers, so we'll reserve that question, ne? And then we'll call up next MMC Councillor Tapelo Ahmad. Can you please come to the podium? Thank you.
All the stakeholders present here today, and I would like to officially greet you all. I've prepared a speech, but I feel that I also need to share a personal experience with all of us, because at times we also need to learn from experiences and why I am the future. I would like to assume that as an MMC in the city of Johannesburg, I don't want to say I'm young, I don't want to give away my age, but I can resonate with your daily experiences. And I don't even want to allege that I'm living my future. I still believe that I am the future and I need to pave the way for your future, which is your future. So you are the future that you want to see. In 1930s, pre-1930s, in South Africa, somebody took a pen and a paper, and that pen was on the paper. As a result, what was on the paper has directly influenced your future, my future, and any other children's futures who are there. I'm talking as a person who's overseeing a department that is in planning. We are the ones who are planning the city of Johannesburg from development planning. So we've embarked on a campaign called Taking Development Planning to the People. And we're also doing an oversight of an entity, a municipal-owned entity called the JDA, which is an implementing agency for the city. So today, if you walk, there's a retail store. When you walk into that retail store, because of COVID, we didn't know that our future would have been influenced by the pandemic, which is called COVID-19. Some of us lived, rather, all of us lived pre-2019, and we've never thought that there would be COVID. So our view is that when you develop the infrastructure, you also develop the people. So when you walk into that retail store, you used to buy over the counter. But today, when you walk into that retail store, you don't buy over the counter, but there's a tablet where you place your order. So that indicates that the future of the people is generational and it's evolving according to the context of that particular generation. So why I am the future? Because you are the future. So you need to take charge of your future. I am the future is inevitable. I am the future is your currency. I am the future is your tomorrow represented today. I am the future is both key and a door to you give expression to your goals and dreams. I am the future. We have identified schools that are coming from predominantly a marginalized community, which is in the peripheries of the city of Johannesburg, the city of gold. But to change the status quo, to create an agile environment so that you can interact. The head coach was talking about interaction. So that you can interact, so that you can create relationships, so that you can sit next to him, so that you can learn how is it to become the coach, so that you can live that particular experience. Because we grew up in an environment that we also went to the very same schools that you went to. We didn't even have career guidances, but we are who we are today because we understood that the key to change our future lies in our hands. So the theme of this launch is leveling the playing field. This is to mean that today marks the day when a new story is written and a new narrative is perpetuated. A narrative that speaks to exposure, access, an introduction into the world beyond that you know, which is the closed barometers, the closed fences in the schools that you are at. There's another world over and above the classroom that you go to on a daily basis. It is about changing the status quo, and it is about bringing you closer to your future realities, which is Mark Zuckerberg says, I was at the right time with the right people. So we are creating that environment for you. You are the future of the next generation. Being at the right time with the right people. Not about what you know, sometimes it's about who you know. My statement of purpose as MMC for development planning in the city of Johannesburg is taking development planning to the people, as alluded to before. It stems from a deep desire that as young men growing up in the south of Johannesburg, Soweto, where I still live, And when I wake up, the very same house it's a constant reminder of what the spatial injustice was representing pre-94. Nothing much has been done. That spatial injustice has to be readdressed, and we are here to change the status quo, to empower not only the infrastructure of the city, but to also empower the inhabitants and the future of the next generation. Soweto, I had no voice in Soweto. In how my community and my people were developed. Now that I have been given this opportunity to serve in this portfolio, it is an enormous task that has been placed on my shoulders, as I now cannot look into the future without addressing the injustices of the past. One of the main focus is to readdress the spatial imbalance, which is to create the corridors of freedom, creating the corridors of the economy, where most of us are coming in those areas where there aren't opportunities to that particular economy. One of my main focus is to, my apologies. One of my main focus is to readdress, as I said, the imbalances that were caused by the apartheid regime, a system that was deliberately designed by a few people to dictate how the majority should live. Today, as part of my legacy project, acknowledging that this is a borrowed space, a political office is a borrowed space, the wheels of a new system have begun to turn. A new era began, designed that will foster change, that will not only impact you now, but in the future as well, you'll have that impact. The Future is an initiative that aims to give you an opportunity to take ownership of yourself and how you give expression to yourself and the spaces that you are living in. This initiative has been designed to create a hunger into your purpose, success by any means necessary. The hunger that we're referring to is a drive to identify opportunities that are right under your nose. It is said an important person is the least that you expected to be, and they are right under your nose. So we've brought those people right under your nose. So we need to capitalize on creating those networks. This program is about knowing that success by any means necessary. My apologies, I went back. This program is about knowing that, as Nelson Mandela said, it seems impossible until it's done. Leveling the playing field is about ensuring that you, as learners, have access to knowledge and resources that will propel you to your dreams and goals. The initiative is an experiential one that will take you through a series of programs that will lead you to being motivated and empowered to effect change directly in your own environment. There is a need for change posture, a posture of ownership, accountability, and responsibility. You need to own your future. Say, I am the future. I am the future. Are you not sure whether you're the future or not? Say, I am the future. That posture is that I am the future initiative. The future which is your reality now, the future which is inevitable, the future is your currency. The future which is your tomorrow, presented today, the future which is both a key and a door to how you give expression to your goals and dreams. Before I close on this posture, let me give you a citation, which is my favorite citation, and an experience. So when you drive or you shop somewhere in Rosebank, sometimes I don't use a parking space, then I'll go to park outside the mall. There's a gentleman there who's a parking assist, but this gentleman, I am assuming that he is using some substance, which is known to be nyaobe in our community. But I'm not alleging anything. It's my observation. So one day, this gentleman was looking at an apartment in Rosebank. He's not employed. I don't know how far did he go with his education. And then I asked him, what are you looking at? He says, I'm looking at that apartment. It's a story that we can all learn from. One day I want to live in one of the flats in this apartment. Then I asked him, how much are you willing to pay a month? And then he says, fairly, it's about 20,000 rands, rough estimate. And then I said to him, you are the future. Why this citation in particular? This man, in as much as his condition are dire, but his future, his dreams are not dead. He still believes in himself. He still believes that he can be the future generation of our community by any means necessary. Because I've learned that the environment that he's that is, and he doesn't know who I am, by the way, but I can be the key to his future. So you are the future, and your future lies in your hands. So I thank you.
Thank you, MMC. Can we, I think the head coach did an appropriate exercise, and I want to follow the trend. Yes, in a sense that what we're going to be doing next, I need you to be awake and attentive. So can you please just all stand up? Yeah, everyone can just stand up. Can you please stand behind your chair? Can you please tell the person next to you that I am the future? And then in one sentence, tell them why you think you're the future. Yeah, that one. Oh, okay. So you know why you are the future. Okay, you can sit down. We're gonna do question and answers. So I needed the brain to get some fresh air. Yeah, I'm getting the point. Yes, we're gonna do. So I'm not sure with the question and answers. Am I going to ask the previous speakers to be here because of the live stream and the mics and what I am going to do? I don't know who doesn't mind helping me. We'll send the mic down for the questions. I will re-say the question so that the people on the live stream can hear, and then whoever it is directed to can then answer. I think, yeah, that should be the rule. So I don't know. I don't have an assistant. Hey guys, yeah, no DJ, no assistant, nothing. But I think we can get like 3 chairs here so that they are here. And then, in fact, let me ask them, do you have questions? No. So you guys are telling me that you know everything about property, you know everything about cricket, and this thing. Who you are sorted? You are not sorted. So can I say, do you have questions? Okay. I know in my speaking profession, it takes one question to bring a bunch of questions. And the questions come from the answers, but it's fine. We only have like 15 minutes to do the question and answers, so we can go to a tea break. So we'll try and keep it prompt. Right. The speakers that were speaking earlier, it would be nice if you sit like somewhere in front or something, so that, you know, when the time comes, then we can just shoot to the answers. Can I see by show of hands questions? Even if it's still coming, you can just raise your hand. Yeah, if the question is still coming. Okay, so I'm going to say numbers, and in that order, the questions will come. Can I see the hands again? I saw 1, 2. Okay, I said 1, 2, 3. And once I'm closing it. I'm not going to open again. So that's like, even if it's still coming. 3. No, I want to go in the line. It's not whoever raises the hand first. This one, yeah. 3 with the pink head, 4 with the white head. Right. 5 with the mask. 5. Once. 6 with the red jacket. And I can see it's expensive. 6. 7 with the red, thing. Yeah. 7. Can I close it? I only have 7 people. And if you have a question after that, unfortunate, because time is money and money is time. Okay. Oh, it's not working? Yeah. We don't have another mic, because now I think the up and down will really kill us. Okay, those 7 people, can you please come?
The NMC asked that Floyd Brink, acting city manager, has just arrived. Just asked that you acknowledge him. And
He wants to acknowledge him.
No, can you just acknowledge and welcome the city manager?
The city manager?
Yeah, acting city manager, Floyd Brink.
Oh, his name is Floyd Brink.
Yeah. Thank you.
Izingane zigcwele skimsamsiphelele cela ningithelele I know not yet, at least. Okay, I have all 7 people. Okay, before you start asking your questions, I want to acknowledge, I understand the acting city manager, Mr. Floyd Brink, has arrived. Is he here with us, or is he? But he's here. And these names that I'm mentioning here, guys, we are not with big people. Like this opportunity. No, I'm telling you, you mustn't forget something. Most of the big guys today, which were youth then, are products of Ngzobona Pampi. Or I will see the English, the interpretation. I will see forward, or I'll see in front. Yes. Yeah. I did it as a home language English, but sometimes, hey, yeah. So the names that I'm mentioning here are serious people. And if you miss this opportunity, hey, I don't know. Yes. So can the people that were speaking earlier be read? Because the questions are going to come and we'll need answers. Okay. I'll just reiterate your question. Guys, please. Thank you. Social distancing. Thank you very much. In fact, if it's okay, I'm not even sure if we could help people. I think you can come and stand here so that the streamers can also see you. Don't forget to mention your school, to put it on the left. Yes, so that we know that you are here. Thank you.
Just greetings to everyone, and just thank you personally for the opportunity. Just to be quick in terms of the question, in terms of the youth in property association and working in partnership with the city, how do you guys plan to work with young people? Sorry, my name is Angelo Doyle. I represent an NPC organization that we really want to do work to be the future in our communities and actually bring that change. So that question again, with the different organizations that are here, how do you guys plan to work with young people, and what is it that you guys want to do going forward that we can be that young people that can carry these projects forward, and how do we access this pool of information? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Just a quick one. That's not my a quick one. So if a question is directed to you as an organization, please write that question down. And then so that when you're answering, and then the second questions can come up. And I think they will answer at the end. So we keep time. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Fina. Is it too? I'm too short. Good day, everybody. My name is Fina. Okay, so I would like to ask, also based on his question, how are your guys planning on implementing change in our schools? Because we have a lot of people who come to our schools and talk to us about career choices and that we can be the future, but they don't finish. They end up on the way. You're not supporting us as kids. So I want to know from all of your, actually from all your organizations and all the people also here that we see in the crowd, how are your guys planning on helping us as kids? Because change, it takes a lot of people for change. And we would just like to know, how are your guys going to help us change? Because we can only do so much. We are children, you know? So I would like to know about that.
Just before you go, I just want to understand your question. Is it directed to everybody that was speaking here, or is it directed to somebody specific or a certain organization? And then if it's a certain organization, just hashtag them.
Oh, hashtag them. To the coach that was speaking about interactions. We need people like that at schools to motivate our learners. Because a lot of learners want to do certain stuff, but they don't have the opportunity to. Nobody's listening. We are speaking, but nobody's listening. To the MMC, we would like to see.
Just one quick one. Sorry to interrupt you. Not to be rude, ladies and gentlemen. the questions are directed to the people that were speaking. And then if you don't hear the question, you won't be able to answer it. So, yes, can you please just give them an ear? Thank you. Please repeat just from the MMC part coming.
Okay. To the MMC, we would like to know how this organization, like what you put together today, how can it grow and help many of like our students that are not here today at our schools? And then I noted that they said there are cricket players among us now. Right? Can we just see? So we would like you also to come encourage learners. You know you don't have time, but just squeeze kancane nje. Okay, thank you.
Just to reiterate, I think that question was directed specifically to head coach and MMC. And maybe just to get some clarity on the question, I'm assuming, and you correct me if I'm wrong, leadership. The student is asking, what is happening today here? What are the steps after this that will ensure that there's progress in the schools? And I'm also assuming how they can engage going forward. Am I right? Thank you. And the third question can
come. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope and trust that you are all well. My question is in terms of internships, because I see there's a housing development agency and I'm big on that. So I just wanted to know if, like, after school, do you guys offer internships and stuff? Thank you.
just so clear, that was directed to you. Oh, the how? Yeah. I'm assuming that's it. Okay. Noted. The next question can come.
Good day, everyone. My name is Tofata Marungani from Altman Technical High School. And my question for today is, I'm directing the question to the owner of the stadium. And my question for today is, what did it take to make a building? And what efforts did it actually take, like, to make the building, and sacrifices? Thank you.
I'm not sure. The owner of the building, I don't think the owner is here. I would be wrong. But the person best to answer that is the building manager. Oh, the owner is here. The building manager. Yeah, the building manager. I think that one is directed to you. Please note the question, and then it was clear. I think we can have the next question.
Good day, everyone. My name is Shaloka Matilda from Almond Technical High School. I would like to direct this question to the CoJ agency. What does CoJ stand for? And the owner of the stadium, and who came up with the word Imperial, or who named the stadium Imperial? Thank you.
Thank you. I only heard your question up until CoJ. What does CoJ stand for? But I'm assuming that the other counterpart heard the question that's directed to them. I hope so. And I think the question was clear. It was clear. So we'll just bring the next question quickly.
Greetings to the populace and all protocol observed. For you is Mr. Ndwandwe, a teacher in Altamont Technical High School. I'm having a question in behalf of my learners and also the young teachers that we are with in the field. The questions is as follows. As the new and current generation, how do we go about if we want to start, or how do we invest in property? In many cases, you get to hear that property has got a lot of money, people are making money through property. But what's the beginning? How do we go about? It might happen that whatever that we are currently into, we're still interested in other opportunities. How do we go there? How do we start? And where do we start? Thank you.
Leadership, that's noted. I think that one is also for the property industry. And maybe just to, I don't know if it's an add-on or it's a comment on that. The person that's going to answer this question, I think it would be appropriate also to maybe give us direction on where are the seminars and for this, because I don't believe we can answer accurately in the time that we have. Understand? So that also, just on that question. And then I had 7 people, but here I see 6. Yeah, 1, 2, there's 6 people. There's the 7th person. You are sorted, I'm assuming. Or you are not here. Either way, yeah, we're gonna move on. Then, thank you for the questions. I don't think we need to go to and from. So you can take a seat, and then they will try and answer as best possible. My leaders and the speakers, that way, yeah, I think you should be very close, because the questions are somewhat, yeah, they need answers. Because I see people trying to remove poverty from the roots. So yes, thank you.
Thanks to everyone for your questions. I noted to my organization. The first one is, how do we work with young people and contact information? So the Youth and Property Association, we actually have over 1,900, I think as of yesterday, I was told, members. These are people, university students, unemployed individuals, and some high school students who are members and participate in our 3 pillars of the organization, which are employment, education, and entrepreneurship. Education is, as I said in my speech, focused on something like this, where we have a job shadow program, where we take young people in high school at your level. We run it just with different schools, but our hope, as we had said in the speech, is to incorporate your schools in our program. And we give you 2 days twice a year to spend with companies like Redefine. I'm trying to look if there's a name of one of them, but Growth Point, a lot of the buildings that you will see in Sandton City or Sandton, those are some of our partners where we give you an opportunity to spend time. From an employment perspective, one of the things that we focus on is an internship program for university students. As I had said, we started at the University of Cape Town, so the challenge we identified was just that while we were studying, we didn't know how to get internships. To be very blunt, the property sector is a white-dominated sector, so as Black young people, we didn't know what we were going to do, how we were going to access them. But we left university, built relationships, and so we have access to internships with people like HDA, with people like Liberty 2 Degrees. And from an entrepreneurship perspective, that is a longer term goal for us, just because property is a capital intensive game. You can't come in with no form of money or capital base, and so it makes it challenging, particularly for young people, to access the sector. Our goal with the entrepreneurship element is essentially to fund the ideas and developments of young people, but it's not good to just talk about goals. We must eventually implement them, and that's what we're working on. How do you contact us? We have a website called www.yipa.co.za, or on Instagram. I think Instagram is YIPA_SA, or on Twitter, or on Facebook. There's a lot of platforms. You can see a lot of videos, a lot of the historic events we've had. And there I think you can learn a lot as well, because with COVID, we've had to change how we host a lot of our events and educational things. And so there are a lot of webinars and things like that from people like the HDA, like the Social Housing Regulatory Authority, like people like Sisange Bulana as well, who's a big and prominent Black developer. So you can go and you can see all of that, and you can learn on those platforms. How do we plan on helping kids while in university? For us, that's very much through our Job Shadow program. We believe there's really 3 ways within which you can transform a sector, and that's starting at high school, and then at university, and then once someone has left in the working world. And so our initiatives, as you would have heard, target all 3 areas. And again, if you just become a member on the website, it's very easy. You put your name and surname. You'll be able to get regular information when those things are happening and apply. Yes, I've covered the one on internships in university. How do you invest in property? I think that one is a big, it's always a question we get asked, but it's not easy to answer because I think it requires 2 things, which is capital as well as experience. If you have capital, it's very easy. Once you've maybe left university, you're working for a little bit, and you've been saving, you can use that money, go to a bank, and then go and purchase an apartment in something like a Baldwin development in Midrand or Waterfall. I have a friend who went to his bank. He was working after 3 or 4 years, and went to them and said, I want to buy my first home, which he just used as an investment property. And was able to get 100% financing from the bank. So it really is, I think, taking that sort of initiative. You've definitely got to save a bit, but once you've saved and you've built some sort of capital base, some sort of credit record as an individual, I think then you can take the step to investing in property. It isn't easy. I thought I would have owned a R1 billion portfolio by the time I'm 26. But I was quickly awakened once I started working that I needed to be innovative around how I was going to partner with people, that I was going to sacrifice a large salary so I could get equity in a lot of the projects that I was working in. So it's about just being innovative. No one is going to teach you or tell you exactly what the steps are, because there are many to do it and to get into the property game. But I would say the first and probably the simplest is work for a little bit, build up a bit of a capital base. Once you have that, approach your bank with a good credit record. You hopefully can get funding and you buy your first apartment as an investment property. Put in a family of 3 people and get them to pay you rent, which hopefully can cover your installments from the bank. I hope that helps. Thanks.
I'm crossing my fingers that you are answered and you don't have follow-up questions. I'm just, because I know these things like tend to spiral more questions, but can we hold it here in the crossing of hands? I heard, as my former president would say, 1,900 and 850 and 8. Yeah. No, 1,900 members. That's the question. I think next up, can we have? I don't know who's close. I see Manager, can you please come to the fourth? Did you note the questions that were directed to you? All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, the question that was asked is what goes into a building? And I thought about the question, to give a very easy answer, bricks, cement, but that is not the answer you want, okay? Because I think since we're busy with I am the future, I think you're looking for the opportunities in terms of getting involved in a building and what goes into a building. So I think the first thing for me would be that there's an opportunity to get into town planning. So properties are normally, my colleague there would advise us, they're normally zoned accordingly. They're zoned as residential, which means you can build houses. They zoned as commercial, and this is zoned as sport. So I think the first thing would be that you can't just, if you're in a residential area, decide that you're going to open up a business or build a shopping mall. Because the town planners have worked out what the layout of this particular town or city or area is going to be. And there's also a need to have a green belt, you know, where if you have lots of apartments, there's a need for people to go out and relax. So the first opportunity, I would say, is to get into town planning. There's an opportunity. Then, when you get to what goes into a building, once the building the area has been zoned accordingly, then what happens is that your developer will put together a project team. And that project team will be an architect, structural engineer, water engineer, water reticulation engineer, electrical engineer. And then, of course, those will be the project team that will put together. And, of course, there may just be financiers in the background and the developers. So those are all the people who get involved. So I think, in answer to your question, those are the areas that you can study in to get involved in developing and become part of a project management team. There was another question with regard to, I'll answer it, I don't know if Donna heard it. The other question was, how do we just call this thing the Imperial Wanderer Stadium? Okay? So generally it is the Wanderer Stadium. What we find is that we get sponsors at different levels. So the one level that you'll get a sponsor is a naming rights sponsor, the right to call something by that name. Agreed? So when you are born, if the family name is Malaysia, you have the right to be called a Malaysia. That's the right. So what happened in this case is that before this, it was referred to as the Bidwest Wanderer Stadium. Because Bidwest bought the rights, they paid a lot of money to be called the Bidwest. Now, why would they invest? And currently, even before that, it was called Liberty Life Wanderer Stadium. And so you'll see just down the road, what used to be Alice Park is now called the Emirates Stadium. And we all know the airline Emirates. So Emirates pay lots of millions of rands to call that. So you can see when we're on television, you'll see that is where they get a return on the investment. When you're on television, you'll see Imperial. Where are you going to today? We're going to the Imperial Wanderer Stadium. I saw at the back there on the screen, this event is today at the Imperial Wanderer Stadium. Agreed. And so you'll find that that is what we refer to as a naming rights sponsor. Then you may find, some of us would have watched a test match in the West Indies. It's called the Betway Test Series. So Betway, most of us know what Betway is. It's a gambling site, it's a business. And so they've invested in that particular, that is called an event sponsor. Already. Then we also have in our case here the UL Lions. That is our cricket team. Also sponsored, not sponsored from the same money of the naming rights, but a special sponsorship of a green. So when you see a name in front of a company's name, most times, in front of your favorite team, that is the team sponsor, right? If you go to, for example, Newlands Cricket Stadium in Cape Town, it is PPC. It used to be PPC. It's now 6 Gun Grow, whatever. Kingsmead in Durban is called the Hollywood Bets Kingsmead Stadium. So they're sponsored by Hollywood Bets, and that's what we refer to as a naming rights sponsor. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much to the building manager. Before I call up the MMC, I think there's one question that was directed to a particular company that should be short and powerful. And I'm not sure if they hear CoJ, the Wi-Fi, they are not here to answer. I also don't know what CoJ means. But we'll try and find out for you guys. And then I think we can go to Mr. MMC. And I think the head coach, because the question was, unless he answers the question, of course, and you can take it with them. What does? No. Unless you know, but no. So they asked, the student asked a question, and that question was directed to you and the head coach. So I'm saying if you can answer maybe on behalf of the head coach, then you don't need him. What was the question? The question
For me, okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. CoJ means City of Johannesburg. It's an acronym. Stands for City of Johannesburg. So, because City of Johannesburg, it's a long sentence. So they had to shorten it, and you predominantly find